We had 700 feet of steel seawall that was basically breaking down, falling up into sections. And then with the high water, made it even worse. We had huge sections of seawall that were pulling out, basically tearing apart. It was unsafe. There was a point where we had temporary fencing for hundreds of feet along the seawall itself while we came up with a plan. We had opportunity to create a unique environment. We started off with kind of a small concept, and it rolled out to be a much bigger project, which we're extremely happy about.
Just started with some phone calls. What do you want to do out there? What are their priorities? What are your time frames? And it looked like a really good match for our NOAA GLC Regional Partnership Program. Right now we have about 20 projects, which is essentially fish habitat. That's the primary focus of this project, but you have all these other side benefits.
It was clear it was causing a problem to the environment and becoming a major problem to this park. We looked at repairing the seawall, we looked at boardwalks, we looked at beaches, and all of those ran into their different problems.
One of the challenges with kind of this location is because of the circulating currents and the different wind patterns. The break walls were essential to protecting the shoreline. They're mounds of stone, large stone, so we designed some meandering walls with some breaks in between. They're really just to dissipate energy.
And this is where we are today, a softened shoreline and a project that is going to be sustainable and is environmentally friendly.
Another problem that we had with this part of the bay is poor fish population and poor diversity. So in the entire bay and Lake St. Clair, actually, this had the lowest population and diversity of fish.
For the whole St. Clair Detroit River system, one of the priority management areas from the fishery standpoint is the nearshore habitat, and that's exactly what this project is focusing on. That's all beneficial for the adult species that might use that, like largemouth bass, but also the juvenile fish. So we're going to be doing some electrofishing, doing some monitoring for the habitat project that was done here at Brandenburg Park in a controlled manner, putting some electricity into the water, and it causes the muscles of the fish to contract in a high rate. So we'll have two people on the front of the boat netting fish as we drive around. We'll shock for 20 minutes, catching everything, shock for another 20 minutes, just targeting juvenile muskies, and then another 20 minutes of catching everything. And then once we're all done, we'll process the catch, measure all the fish. We'll have that information to compare to a similar effort we did before the habitat project was done.
Really happy to see the incorporation of more naturalized landscapes, right? So we have a very formal landscape area close to the walking path that then transitions down into a more natural state in the emergent wetland and the aquatic vegetation area. By incorporating those two design elements, we're allowing the public to interact and engage with a space that's very familiar with them, and then transitioning to something that's a little less familiar, but it allows them to engage in that space with a sense of comfortability that I think is lacking in a lot of landscape design elements.
We did see a lot more fish in the habitat area, largemouth bass, some yellow perch, rock bass, and hopefully that holds well next year when we get another year of natural reproduction. More habitat's good, you get fish like that going in.
Without the Great Lakes Commission, this project wouldn't happen. They've been the best partners you could ask for from a time we basically took a concept, we looked at all the other projects in the Great Lakes and tried to combine different parts and pieces, so this project was a little unique.
There's very little of this Lake St. Clair that is natural, soft shoreline, and taking this big of a piece of it and softening it will have a long, long impact on the region.
I think an important thing to highlight with this project is the collaborative effort that went into getting this done. And that is one of the strengths of the NOAA GLC Regional Partnership. We have a lot of flexibility with our funding. We prioritize the collaborative effort from the local landowner to local contractors and community, all the way up to the federal agencies. It creates these wonderful projects with a lot of buy-in and a lot of support for getting them done and for supporting them out into the future.